What's up, witches? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Tea and Tarot. If you don't know where you are right now, I am Allie Kravitz, aka the Bronx Witch, and this is Tea and Tarot, which is a gathering that we have every full moon. It actually started back in 2019 and was every week, and it's how a lot of you met me and how a lot of us got connected with each other to begin with. And now Tea and Tarot is back, and it's back in a very fun way. I'm coming live every full moon to deliver a message from Spirit to the collective. Hey, hey, girl, what's up? Hey. And I love your picture. This is so the opposite of what you look like in real life. So that is hilarious. That's your YouTube picture. And so I'm going live on YouTube to share messages with the collective for the next rotation of this moon phase. We have a full moon coming up later on in this week. And I want to channel messages that help us to focus our careers, focus our finances, focus on our spiritual practices, whether we do practices for other people or just for ourselves. And then when that is done, I will be just with the bunkers. So we will let YouTube go. And for the bunker witches that are behind the scenes right now, hey, bunker witches behind the scenes, I will be taking one-on-one questions. So if you have ever wondered how you could get a reading from me directly and maybe haven't booked one just yet, being a part of the bunker is one of the perks of being in the bunker, is this one-on-one time that we will have when we're done with the collective. And of course, if you feel like you just need a reading for yourself, I do still offer readings. Sometimes people think that I don't anymore, but it's just that my calendar for readings is very, very limited. Most of my calendar these days is dedicated to my coaching clients and BetterWitch students that are in my 6-week and 6-month intensives, whether they're in one of my business intensives or one of my Magick intensives. And so because I spend most of the week with all of those witches, I don't have as much time for my Reiki and my tarot, but I do still do them at a beautiful Reiki session at Witchwork this past week. It was really, really fantastic. So I do have limited spots on my calendar for people who want one-to-ones, but you don't have to worry about getting on my calendar. If you are a bunker witch, you will be able to ask me questions this evening. Ask questions of my guides and my spirits this evening. And if you would like to get into the bunker, it is not too late to do that. There is a link in the chat. I posted it and pinned it in the chat, as well as in the description of this video. It is free to join the bunker for the first 7 days. So if you want to get a free reading from me, basically, take advantage of that. Join the bunker. If you leave us after the first 7 days, it's okay. No harm, no foul. I don't take it personally. Okay. I always love sharing like sales and tips and ways to take advantage of things. So that's what I would do if I were you. If I wanted a reading tonight, I would join the bunker. And take advantage of that this evening. But whether you're tuning in behind the scenes in the bunker or you are here on YouTube, welcome, welcome, welcome to this very, very safe space. And I'm excited because one, Mercury is out of reggaeton. Praise God. I don't know about you, but this retrograde has been a little bit tough. A little bit exhausting. I felt myself being incredibly fatigued throughout the retrograde, and several like things that were underway, which was my own fault for like trying to make things happen during the retrograde. Like I know better than that, like trying to finalize deals and agreements and things like that. Of course, all of them have been delayed or canceled. So that's been like a little frustrating. So I'm really glad that that is over. It is also my understanding that Venus is doing something. I think she's stationing direct, and the astrologers will have to chime in the comments about what that is supposed to mean for us. But I hear it is a good thing. And my Venus is in Libra, and this full moon is in Libra, so I feel like that maybe is going to coincide well for me, but I am not an astrologer. I follow a lot of astrologers and definitely try to use astrological transits to give me guidance on different things that I can do in my life better, etc., make better choices, whatever. But I'm definitely not an astrologer, so follow a good one. But what I do know is that aside from Mercury coming out of micro braids, and aside from and aside from Venus going direct, we also have this full moon in Libra coming up, and this is the pink moon. And one of the stories I have heard about why it's called the pink moon has to do with like different flowers that are in bloom at this time. And apparently, there are some varieties of flowers that are pink that bloom at this time. Yes. Oh, yes, that's right. I forget we have an astrologer in the room. Yes. Okay. So Tasha said Venus direct is great. We have all reflected on what we want and need, and finances have been readjusted. Well, praise God. Yes, this is what we need for sure. Oh, well, that lines up quite a bit with what we were talking about today. Tasha and I were on the phone 2 seconds ago. Yeah, reflecting on what we need has been big for me. Very, very big for me, especially romantically. Some of you guys know I'm going through a divorce, which hopefully will be over soon. It's been taking forever, paperwork and all of that stuff. And, yeah, I'm just very much looking forward to being like completely done with that energetic connection to my ex-husband. And this process has definitely given me the opportunity to reflect on what I would want in a partner if I were to be partnered with someone, what I want out of my friends, what I want out of the new people that I'm meeting and seeing, and all of that stuff. And when I think about the Libra full moon, and I think about the full moon at this time, we're coming out of Aries season. Basically, Aries season will be wrapping up in the next week or so. And we have, to me, shaken off all of like the dust and the snow of the winter. And now we're really full steam ahead. If you felt like the year was getting off to a slow start, I think we all always feel that way. I think trying to start new projects on January 1st is a terrible idea, quite frankly, because it's just not the energy. Like, I still want to hibernate at that time of year. And I think a lot of people do. This is a time where a lot of people who have been slow to start the year actually start to feel motivated and pumped up and energized to start doing things, and like really tackling their projects. So I think that's really good energy and that's really helpful. And then that Libra energy comes in to ask us like where it relates to our relationships and how we take care of ourselves. When I think about Libra, I think of Venus de Milo, in her clamshell. I think about being nude and covered in pearls and being really comfortable and spoiling yourself a little bit and really like allowing yourself to have all of the finer things in life and the nicer things that you want. And so those two energies together makes it a really good time to get serious about that and to not just think about it and think about like, what would it be like if I had the social media following that I want? Or what would it look like if people were listening to my music? Or what would it look like if I was well known in my town for this or that? Now there's a really good energy for making that happen. So I encourage everyone to take advantage of any opportunities to network, to go to social events, to party, to go out, to buy yourself new things if your finances allow you to do that, or even just to like throw out a lot of old stuff and kind of just treat yourself nicer. I don't think you have to spend a lot of money to treat yourself well. I mean, I think there are like obvious things that you can do for yourself that do involve money, but I think there's a lot of things that we can do for ourselves that are free, that just have to do with like how we structure our days, or what things we get ourselves and the foods we eat and things like that. And I think this can be a really helpful time for us spiritual practitioners, because if you are planning to relaunch, revamp your business, if you're planning to rebrand yourself, this is definitely the full moon to help you with that. If you're planning a launch of a new product or a new service, this is one of the best energies for a rebrand. Okay. Venus de Milo would definitely be like, ta da, look at my new do. Um, and you might be doing that as well, changing up your hair color, changing up how you dress. This is a really good time to like take a moment to ask yourself what you want to look like and what you want your vibe and your energy to be, and start making changes to reflect that in your life, on social media, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I bet a lot didn't. Mine didn't. Ugh. Yeah, I was talking to Tasha earlier about just like a really long friendship that I've had with someone that I've realized I can't continue to have. Um, and it's not a coincidence that I'm coming to that realization right now, because I've had the energy astrologically is just really encouraging us to reconsider our relationships, with others, but also to ourselves. So, how are other people treating us? Are they, really stepping up to the plate? Are they carrying their weight in the relationship? Are they being fair? Are they being honest? Are they being open? But also our relationships with ourselves. Like, are we treating ourselves right? Are we giving ourselves enough sleep and enough rest when we need to? And all of those good things. Now's the time to think about that. The full moon is in a couple of days. I think it's on the 12th. So, my mom's birthday. So, we have a few days before the moon is full. And I encourage you to, like, if you feel like there are people in your life that are doing more harm than benefit, or you've been questioning whether or not the relationship really is good for you, I think you owe it to yourself to spend the next few days really giving that some serious consideration, because the full moon is going to illuminate and allow you to see things for what they really are. So prepare yourself so you're not shocked when that happens. Start actually thinking about these things yourself, because there are likely to be events that come up in the next few days, the next week or so, that shine a bright light on like whether or not that person's really good for you. And the same with how you're treating yourself. Like, ask yourself if you're giving yourself enough sleep, if you're taking care of yourself enough. Are you eating well? Are you sleeping well? Are you drinking enough water? Um, and, you know, realize that you're going to see more clearly how you might actually be harming yourself. So just be ready. Like, don't be shocked when the full moon hits and you're like, oh shit, I am my biggest problem. Like, yes, you are the problem. So start asking yourself now, how are you neglecting your self care? How are you denying yourself the best things? How are you settling for less, settling for mediocre, settling for average, so that as the moon progresses to full, you're not taken by surprise, basically, you know? You have no more friends and it's made me sad. I am sorry to hear that, but I do feel like someone, my good friend Perrin, said this to me the other day, that like right now is a time of calling in a new tribe. So while your old friends might be gone, like me having to end my friendship with my friend of 20 years is devastating. I'm not happy about it at all. I am going to deeply, deeply, deeply miss our friendship. But I also know that I've been working really hard for the life that I'm creating for myself. And it would be so ridiculous for me to allow anyone, even a really good friend, to hold me back from my blessings. And the universe is not going to give me my blessings if I show them that I am not going to handle them properly. um yeah, so I know it hurts to not have your old friends around you anymore, but I really do think that we're all going through a period of readjusting, and being given the opportunity to call in people that are genuinely going to like be a positive addition to our lives. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yep. 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 Because you're not going to meet new people if you have those people blocking you. It's not going to happen. I was talking to Tasha about this. So I was out like at the bar with a friend of mine, and this guy bought me a drink, right? So I let him buy me the drink. When I tell you, this was on my hip for the rest of the night. The rest of the night. Could not shake him. I was being too nice. Tasha's already explained to me that I'm too nice. I'm going to be working on this. But I didn't have the guts to be like, okay, go away. Right. So this guy is with me all night long. And all night long, I can see other guys at the bar looking at me, trying to decide like what the situation was. Like, is this her boyfriend or whatever? Because I knew that they wanted to come over and talk to me too. And this fucking guy, not only did he sit at our table for the entire rest of the night, preventing any other guys from coming over, when my drink ran out, would you know this motherfucker had the nerve to not offer me a second drink? I paid for my own next drink, and then I ordered some food and he didn't offer to pick that up either. Meanwhile, there's all of these guys walking around that probably would have been delighted to get my second drink, would have been delighted to eat with us and pick up the tab. The meal was only $50. So rude. So rude. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to like be taking up my time, but you really gonna block me from like having a good time with anybody else? So you are exactly right, soul inspired. You are going to be blocked from meeting new people if you don't let the old ones go, as sad as it might be. So, anywho, welcome to those who have just come in the room. Say what's up in the chat. Say hi. You have just come into tea and tarot. Drop down in the chat what tea you guys are sipping on. I am sipping on Skinny Spice. This is one of my teas. I don't know if I was drinking this the last time, but it is my weight loss tea because Mama is trying to get snatched so that I can have a hot witch summer. Okay. And my Skinny Spice tea has senna leaf and cardamom and grapefruit, all of these great like detoxifier, fat blocker, booster, breakdowners, etc. And it's like spicy from the cardamom a little bit, which is nice because then you don't taste the senna, which is bitter. And I just have a little honey in here, no cream. Yeah, you can get it on my Etsy. Just look for Bronx Witch Bodega on Etsy. Or go to, I got to promote my shop better. I really do. I'm terrible. I got to promote my shop better. I have over 1,300 sales. I think something like 95 5-star reviews or whatever. My teas are phenomenal, and I have 13 different blends. And I just be so busy with witch work and with coaching that I forget that I should like remind people that I make spell candles and spell soaps and incredible herbal teas. But you can find me on Etsy, Bronx Witch Bodega. And this one's called Skinny Spice. Okay. Don't drink it for more than 2 weeks at a time because she is quite potent. So we're going to do something fun today for the collective reading. I got a gift. Yes, shout out to Haley at Schiffler Publishing. Shout out to you, Haley, for making sure that I got a copy of Beautiful Creatures Tarot, the second edition. I have seen this deck all over the place. I think the Beautiful Creatures Tarot is a very popular deck that has done really well. Very like Tim Burton-esque kind of art, but not quite as like morbid and dark. But there is now a second edition. And so the folks at Red Feather sent me a copy to check out. So I'm going to unbox it with you guys. And I think we're going to pull from this deck, see what the energy is. We're going to cleanse her real quick and check her out, see what vibe she's giving. But I felt like it was so perfect for this Libra full moon because one of my besties is a Libra, and this deck very much reminds me of her. Like, I think she would love it. It's very much like her aesthetic, her vibe. So it's giving big Libra energy, very aesthetic, very attractive, very like, look at me kind of thing. So we've got this nice box. Love a nice box. Ooh. Okay, the box has like strings on it to keep it open, which is cool. Okay, the author is J.R. Rivera, an empath and award-winning author who's been reading tarot and oracle decks since the age of 13. His first tarot deck, a Spanish version of the French Atelier's tarot, which he still owns and cherishes, was gifted to him by his mother and grandmother after experiencing his first haunting premonition. Soon after, he found himself reading his very first oracle, a deck of cards that emerged from Spain and tied to his roots, Spanish poker cards. I didn't realize we were supporting a POC author here. That's dope. The illustrator is Jasmine Beckett Griffith. She is a traditional acrylic painter combining elements of realism with fantasy and the surreal. Historical and spiritual references are intertwined with fairy tales and the beauty of nature. Her trademark liquid-eyed maidens evoke a wide range of emotions and responses to the surrounding imagery. It is her goal to bring a bit of magic and intrigue to the mundane world with every painting. Ooh, so these like watery-eyed fairy girls are like her signature art. Cool. I'm excited. Okay, let's see. So the book is a big mama. She thick. Okay, we like a thick guidebook. I personally like a thick guidebook because even though I don't, I've been reading for 23 years, I don't necessarily rely on the guidebook for the messages. The messages just come through. But it is really helpful, I find, when you're, you guys, check out the fucking strength card, bro. My card, the Leo card. She's Hindi. Yes. Oh my God, I fucking love this. Okay, she's definitely inspired. She's inspired by Durga. Oh my God. Okay, if you know anything about me, then you know that like Durga is my mom. Like, oh, that is so cool. Okay, yeah, I'm already in love. But yeah, I like to keep the guidebooks of all of my decks. I keep all the boxes in the guidebooks because, like, when you are drawn to something on the cards, like you're drawn to a particular image or there's a symbol or something like that, I want to be able to open up the deck and be like, what the fuck was this? Like how I just confirmed that that was Durga. If I didn't have that confirmation, then I'd have to look at all the things she's holding in her hands because that's how Hindu deities work. I'd have to look at all the things she's holding in her hands and like, go researching and be like, okay, which combination of things is this? And I kind of felt like maybe she was Kali, maybe she was Parvati, but now I know for sure she is the form of both of those goddesses known as Durga. So it's very helpful to keep the guidebooks because if there's something on the deck that is like unique to the illustrator, then you're not going to know that if you just throw away the guidebook. I hate when I see new tarot readers trying to like educate other readers and be like, don't use the guidebook, blah, 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 blah. The guidebook is not necessarily where you get your messages from, but it's still helpful to know why, like, Jasmine Beckett Griffith went with this image versus another image. You know what I mean? Because that could actually be a message for you as well. So don't throw away your guidebooks. All right. Pull your cards. Let spirit speak to you through your cards. But when you have questions about the design of a card, is that an apple or a pomegranate? You can go to the guidebook and confirm, and that information might give you another layer of info. Oh, you're in the right place, girl. This message that comes through is definitely for you. Yes. Yes, I never understand why people are like, throw away the guidebook. Like, you're not cooler. You know what I'm saying? I have been reading for 23 years, professionally for 7 years. When I have a new deck, I will be like, excuse me, I'm going to go to the guidebook because I don't know if this is a pumpkin or a squash. We're going to go to the guidebook and see if somebody mentioned what the fuck this is. You know what I mean? Like, you're not cool because you're going without the guidebook. You're just lacking information that could actually be relevant to your reading and could give your reading more substance. So, yeah, keep the guidebooks, guys. So I'm glad that it has a big, beautiful color guidebook if I need to look anything up. Okay, so the deck is inside the box like this, 2 sides. Aren't they gorgeous? These girls are gorgeous. I love this. Thank you so much, Red Feather, because I don't think this is the type of... And it's purple. Well, bitch. Okay, mama. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at these bitches right here. Yes. Yeah, it's just so you know, like, why the artist did stuff or like what a particular symbol is. These are gorgeous. Oh, so this is the back. This is the back. These like 2 chicks. Cool. Oh, this is child. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I literally have a flight to catch tomorrow. Y'all are not going to hear from me. And when I come back, I'm going to be a whole new bitch. And this is going to be the vibe. And I just painted my nails purple with gold sparkles on top. You can't really see the purple because it's like underneath, but okay, this is the vibe. Ooh, purple gilding. God, I love gilded edges. Okay, so fancy. All right. So let's give this, and they're matte, which I love so much. Yes, we love it. We love it. We love it. Okay, good, 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 good. We love it. I love a matte deck. I hate shiny decks, first of all, because when you're trying to show them on camera, they reflect too much. So these are nice and matte so you can actually see them. See? Much better. A little bit of glare, but you can see them. Okay. And they're not too big for my little ass hands. They're like a nice square size. And the purple gilding. Oof. Delicious. Delicious, delicious. Love that. Love that. Yeah, the gloss annoys me because, like, also when you're shuffling, they go flying everywhere. And then you look like you can't shuffle. Like, bitch, I can shuffle. Yes, slippery. Slippery as fuck. It's so annoying. All right. So, welcome, witches. Those of you who have just come into the room, welcome to Tea and Tarot. If you are, in fact, having a cup of tea, drop it down in the chat. Let us know that you're in the building. Let us know what you're sipping on. I am sipping on Skinny Spice. Tea and Tarot is something that I started doing back in 2019. We did it for like 3 straight years, and now I am back, and it is even better than before. The first part of this live is going to be here for YouTube. I'm going to be pulling cards for the collective for this Libra full moon, this pink moon that we're going to be experiencing on the 12th of April in just a few days. We're going to see how this Libra full moon is going to be impacting our finances, our businesses, our rebrands, our revamps, because that's the energy that it really holds, new relationships, new ways of treating ourselves, etc. And then I am going to hop off of YouTube. The stream will end, and all of the bunker witches that are in the background right now, hello, bunker witches, I am going to take personal questions from them. So if you have wanted to get a reading from me, if you have personal questions that you want to ask, you still have time to join us in the bunker. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. It's also in the description. It's free to join the bunker for the first 7 days. So this is a great way to basically get a free reading. Join the bunker and tune into this live stream from there, because when we are done with the YouTube family, we are going to be able to privately take one-on-one questions just amongst us. So Let's do that. So the first thing that I'm going to do, because this is a new deck, is I'm going to cleanse her real quick, okay? So I've got some Florida water on deck always. Asking the elements of earth and water to lend their protection, their properties of cleansing to this deck, to remove the energy of anyone who has handled this deck before, allowing me to start fresh, start new. And I'm going to burn a little rosemary. Rosemary is, I call her my grandmother herb. She's my favorite cleansing herb. I'm not really a sage girly. I will use that in very particular circumstances because sage is actually antibacterial, and burning sage will actually remove bacteria from the air. So when someone has been like sick in my presence, they've been coughing, sneezing, or whatever, I will use sage to cleanse. But otherwise, one of my go-tos is actually rosemary, especially when it comes to like cleansing my decks and things like that. I really like to work with her because rosemary is a powerful herb for the mind. We use her for everything from relieving headaches to helping with hair loss to increasing your memory. So I like to cleanse my deck with rosemary as a way of saying that I'm ready for like those messages to come through, come into my mind, to help me to remember all the messages that come through so that I don't fuck around and forget and then do the same dumb shit over and over again. And I pray the same for all of my clients and all of you in the collective who get a reading from this deck. And then I'm going to consecrate it. In the name of the Lord and Lady, I'm going to call in my guides, guardians, angels, ancestors, and spirits, introducing them to this new tool, which will allow me to better understand the messages and translate the messages that they send to me. This deck is now mine. It is a tool that I will use to communicate with my spirits and my spirits alone. And I instruct this deck to only bring forward the most clear, most high vibrational, and most helpful messages. Anything that would harm, distract, or hurt for no reason, I ask that it leave those behind. As I will, so mote it be. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? Pulling cards for the collective for this upcoming full moon in Libra, this pink moon happening on April 12th. As I was talking to you guys about some of the energies around this particular transit, the word revamp keeps coming through. And it's really interesting too, because like not relaunch, rebrand, but revamp keeps coming through. And I would say that these cards are very vampire-ish, you know, very vampy is like the word that I would use. Very vamp energy, vampire energy. So I already feel coming through a message about vampires in our lives, energy vampires, people who are maybe staying with you or keeping their relationships with you, mostly just for what they can get from you. I feel like there are probably more than one of us in the group that feels like they have people in their lives that just are not as honest as you would like them to be about why they're in a relationship with you. Or like if you take a moment to step back, you might realize that the taking is kind of one-sided. And like maybe in the past it was more balanced and you both gave each other something, but lately it hasn't been that way. You've been giving, and they've been taking with no problem, no shame, no regret. And I feel like vampiric energy really wants to reveal itself today. So you might receive a message about who that is if you're not certain. or you might receive a message about what you could do about it if you feel like you don't know how to handle the situation. For those of you who are entrepreneurial, who have spiritual practices, there is an energy of revamping here. Of like starting over and coming out new. I keep thinking about how vampires live forever. And it's like you may have been considering giving up on something. You may have been considering letting something die. And instead, you're being told, no, it doesn't need to die. You don't need to give up. You just need to revamp it. You need a new look. You need a new vibe. You need a new structure. And maybe that has to do with setting boundaries. Maybe you haven't been like putting your boundaries up enough. So the people that you're trying to serve with your practice have been taking. I always think about something that Ayanla Van Zant said to Oprah one time, which was that we have a tendency to turn people into thieves. And then we get mad at them for being thieves. But we turn them into thieves because we basically put our valuables right in front of them and say, here, help yourself. And then don't insist that there be some type of reciprocal exchange. And we basically make it so that they can steal from us. And I think spiritual practitioners do that a lot because of the misconception that we're supposed to be giving away everything for free, or that what we do is charity, or we mistakenly think that because we want to help people that we shouldn't ask the question of what do we need in order to be able to do this work. And then we end up being really depleted. So we turn people into thieves that way. So what is the message for the collective spirit for this full moon in Libra? Tasha, weren't we talking about memories on the phone? We said something about memories, but that's crazy because I was just talking about cleansing this deck with rosemary to preserve the memories, and memories are coming up here for the collective. So first of all, we have the 9 of Cups in the reverse, memories. This is what it looks like in the reverse. Oh, sorry, the 6 of Cups. This is what it looks like in the upright. So you can see how gorgeous. These are like, what do you call them? Like seahorse type creatures. But it came up in the reverse. Okay. Yeah, it's so interesting that Mercury retrograde just went direct, because I feel like for a lot of us, there were visions of the past coming up. And like we said, this full moon in Libra is about reconsidering what we really want, reevaluating the relationships that we have. So I feel like many of us in the collective have had the opportunity to do exactly that. And so that might have looked like friends or people that you, hey, Melissa, what's up? Friends, people that you haven't heard from in a while coming back around. Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. I have a longer video on here too about like how to cleanse and consecrate like a whole space. And you can use the same ritual to cleanse items. And that's basically what I did. So if you want like a full length video, there's one here on my channel. I think it's called Consecrating Sacred Space. But what's coming through for the collective on the 6 of Cups tip is about getting an opportunity to revisit some of these memories, and in a way, like putting them to bed, realizing that the memories that you share with people, the memories that you share with, you know, your old job, your old clique of friends, the place you used to live or whatever, those memories are coming up not because you need to stay in those places, but because you need to be reminded of why you don't want to be there. You need to be reminded of why you don't need to be friends with this person. You needed to be reminded of why you don't want to be in this relationship. So you may have had like a revisit, which happens a lot during the retrograde, but this is really coming through very specifically with this one, that I feel like a lot of you got some type of a contact. You might have gotten a letter in the mail. You might have gotten an email. You might have gotten a surprise visit or a phone call, or maybe you had a dream about a person that you haven't talked to in a long time. Don't be fooled into thinking that that is a sign that you need to like get back with that person or stay in that place. It actually was being brought up for you to be reminded of why this person or why this place is not healthy for you. Okay. So, in many ways, it's a sort of a test, and you want to make sure that you pass it. Okay. Because if you show the universe that you haven't learned your lesson and you allow this person, this vampiric person or this vampiric space to be a part of your life and you don't do anything for it, for like to get out of it, you are going to block the blessings that could be coming your way because you're not going to be given them just to blow them. Right? The blessings that are coming your way that feel like they're right on the other side of like the door are there basically waiting for you to show them that you are going to be able to handle them well. And if you're going to blow your blessings on some person in your life that is going to take from you, that's going to take advantage of you, if you're going to blow it on an employer that's, running you into the ground, taking advantage of you, whatever the case may be, they're not going to come through the door. Because why? Why? If you're an animist, then you know that everything has a living spirit, everything, including like the money in your wallet. And so it wants to be in a place where it's going to be taken care of. And if you stay with this person or you stay in this situation, you're basically telling them, I'm not going to take good care of you. And they're not going to come through. For some of you, the focus here is on the seahorses. There are some of you in here that really need somebody else to carry the weight for you. Like you're very overwhelmed right now, and you need a business partner, you need a romantic partner, a co parent. You need another person in your life to help you to carry the weight of what it is that you are building and you are birthing. And that person or that situation is not coming towards you because you won't let go of the old one. All right. So just know that. Like, if part of your fear of letting go of the old relationship is, oh, I won't have anyone to help me. This might be staff. This might be like contractors or people that you employ. If you're feeling like, man, I don't want to fire this person because then I'm going to be by myself. I'm going to have to do all this work by myself. No, you're not. There's another better option that's out there, but you're literally not making space for that better option because of your attachment to this vampiric energy. So you got to get them up off your neck, basically. They are sucking you dry. Hi, I like that emoji. They are sucking you dry. Okay. And it's time to let go of that. And I can tell you why you're struggling to let go of it, because you have a lot of guilt around the circumstances. Either you feel like you owe the person something, maybe you made promises to them, maybe you said we'd be friends forever, or maybe you like, maybe the person's a really good friend or something like that. But this, let's check it out in the upright just because it's our first time. Isn't she cute? Come on now. This is, we're a bunch of witches in here. We know we like this aesthetic right here. But with it being in the reverse, it's a difficulty of letting go of like the sadness of ending this relationship. Okay. And the sadness of ending this attachment to what you had previously built. For my witchpreneurs, this very much feels like fear around like letting people down. Like, you may have been offering yourself into the world in one way. There might have been a particular service or a particular product that you did. Maybe your focus has been all around meditation or something like that. And you're feeling like this is not really what I want to be doing. I would really rather be doing tarot readings, or I'd really rather be doing Reiki, or I'd really rather be doing sound bowls. And you feel like you're going to, like, you made a promise to people to stick around or always offer a certain thing, and your heart's not in it anymore, and you feel bad about that. You feel guilt, you feel like you're being maybe not genuine, or you're not honoring, not being genuine, but like you're not honoring promises that you made to people. But Spirit is saying the promise that you make to a vampire means nothing. The promises you make to a vampire means nothing. A vampire is incredibly manipulative. They are master manipulators. Okay. The promises you made because you were under their spell. They knew what to say. They knew what to do. They knew what gifts to give you. They knew what nice words to tell you. They knew how to dress. They knew exactly how to make you feel like you owed them something or like they were doing things for you, and like they had your back. And the truth of the matter is, they really are the ones that have been benefiting from this situation. And you've been holding on to promises, you've been holding on to potential, you've been holding on to words. And when you actually look back on it, you're going to realize that there has not been any action to back those words up. They've just been promising and promising and promising. Oh, I'm going to get it back to you. I'm going to pay you back. I got you. I'll always be there for you. That I'm your best friend. You can tell me anything. I got you. I got you. I got you. But then every time you really need them to come through for you, they let you down. And then they come back around. I'm so sorry. I got you. Next time, I got you. I'm always there for you. Da da da. And when you actually look back on it, you're going to realize they haven't really been there for you. And like the crazy thing is, they're delusional enough to really believe that they really have been holding you down. And that's what makes it so hard, is because you're like, wait, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Because this person really thinks that they have like gone out of their way to help me. But the truth is that they have not. They've just been saying that. So these two cards coming up in the reverse, this is the message and this is the test and this is the lesson that is coming through for this full moon. These are the circumstances that you have to, you don't have to do anything, but these are the circumstances that you're being given the opportunity to turn around. So as this message has been coming through, each of you has been thinking about particular people or circumstances, and who this message is about. You know who the vampiric energy is in your life. You maybe don't want to admit it. You maybe would like to think that that's not the case, but And it's whoever popped up into your memories in the last couple of weeks while Mercury was in retrograde, either in your dreams or they may have popped up into your life out of nowhere. If you're wondering, is that the person? Yes, that's the person. It is not a coincidence that they popped back up on the scene after all this time. Where you're going, though, is incredibly beautiful. Like incredibly beautiful. If you can get over this, and literally as we have this full moon, we have this big full moon right here in the middle of the reading, right? So this card is in the middle position. I'm going to try to show you what I see. So it's probably backwards for you, but this is what I am seeing. And this full moon is right in the middle of everything. So overcoming this full moon on the other side of the full moon after the 12th, you're going to be in a really good position if you take the steps necessary to disconnect yourself from this vampiric energy. Even how she looks in this card is very different. Like this card compared to the other two is very light. Her hair is light. It's a light color. There's a lot of like light around her. This isn't exactly like a sunny deck. We are pulling from the Beautiful Creatures Tarot, which was gifted to me by Red Feather. This is our first time using this deck. So we're just being introduced to these images. And I doubt that there are any like straight up sunny pictures in here because it just doesn't seem to be like the vibe. So this is like this deck's version of like bright and sunny energy. These bright butterfly type fish, these bright bursts of orange, and this light colored hair, and light energy all around her. So on the other side of the full moon is a level up, a level up for sure. Um, this card carries with it like an air of celebration, of overcoming, but there is a fight element to it. There's a fight element to it. Um, I don't know why I feel like these are like fighter fish. They don't necessarily look like that, and I don't know anything about fish, but the message that's coming through is about like fighter fish. Does anybody know anything about fish? Are these fighter fish? But they feel aggressive. Like they feel like as pretty as they are, they kind of have like a warrior energy to them. I don't know if it's just the coloration that makes me feel that way, or just the Seven of Wands energy in general, but it's a very combative, like fighting type of an energy. And you are being given the opportunity to stand up for yourself and fight for yourself and say, I'm not going to tolerate like being taken advantage of anymore. I'm not going to tolerate being the giver all the time anymore. I am going to stand up for myself. I am going to stand up for myself. So if you're feeling a little bit like nervous about maybe having a difficult conversation, if you're feeling a little bit uncertain about cutting certain people off in your life, if you're feeling uncertain about revamping yourself and rebranding and coming out with a new version of you, whether that's like in your everyday life with people or it's on social media or whatever, do it. Do it. I know it's scary and it's very uncertain, but do it anyway. Because after this full moon, it's going to be so obvious why you needed to do that. And it's going to really feel like genuinely a new beginning, almost like new moon type of feeling, um, of being like, oh shit, I actually get to totally start fresh without this thing holding me back, this thing holding me down, this person, this past version of myself, this past image, this old page. Some of you might be needing to upgrade your social media or just delete it entirely and start over, where it feels like maybe the content on your old pages don't feel like you anymore. And you're wondering whether or not you should just start a new one or what you should do. But yes, go that route. Delete all those old things or just start over fresh, whatever is going to be like the most cathartic for you, whatever one is going to make you feel like, okay, I really moved on. Like if starting a new page and keeping the old page still alive doesn't make you really feel like you let it go, then don't do that. Delete that old one or get rid of all of the content on it. Or maybe you need to get rid of it because the wrong people are following it and you can't seem to like change your algorithm. You can't seem to get people who are in alignment with the new version of you. Then it's time to just start over because it's going to be incredible when you do. It's going to be incredible when you do. You're going to feel really, really proud of yourself for what you have accomplished, for what you have overcome. Um, And yeah, this card's message is bravery, and that's exactly what it is. And I think the one thing about bravery that I would share with all of you is that bravery is not something that you can talk yourself into. Bravery is not the equivalent of not being afraid. That's not what bravery is. Bravery is being afraid and then doing it anyway. And by doing it anyway, you become brave. You demonstrate bravery. But you literally cannot be brave unless you stare in the face of the thing that scares you and do it anyway. Fight that battle anyway. So I can tell from this energy that this relationship or situation, previous version of yourself, is going to be hard to let go. Definitely going to be hard to let go. And I feel like the universe does what it can to help us out. And Mercury going direct, Venus going direct, and this full moon in Libra are kind of all being given to us as like the right environment to take a good hard look at these situations and be honest about whether or not they're really serving us. And then doing the hard part, which is saying goodbye so that you make room for something new. Yeah. This full moon is about being brave. It is about being brave. There's a new version of you, there's a new version of your life that's like sitting right on the other side, and you're afraid to step into it because you're afraid to be without, you're afraid to regret your choices, you're afraid to lose the memories of what you once had. You're afraid to look like you're betraying people or betraying your audiences, betraying your clients. But the longer you stay in this situation, the more and more depleted you're going to be. And the harder it's going to become for you to take care of yourself, which ultimately you have to do if you're going to be any good to anybody. Yeah, that's all. That's all, folks. That is the message that has come through for the collective. These cards are really cute. Beautiful Creatures Tarot. Thank you again, Red Feather, for sending it to me. This is the second edition. And I never had the first edition, so I don't know how it differs, but I'm going to really enjoy getting to know these cards even more because they are already so expressive and communicative, which is great. So we're going to play around with these cards a little bit more. I'm going to go private into the bunker now to take one-on-one questions from the bunker witches. So for those of you who would like to get a private reading from me right now, you would like to have your own questions answered of these cards and of my guides, then hop into the bunker. You can find the link to do so. I think I pinned it at the top of the chat, but it is also in the description box. It is free to join the bunker for the first 7 days. So you can hop in, come and get your cards read, and then decide if it's the right space for you. The bunker is a virtual membership space for spiritual practitioners and spiritual entrepreneurs. We have live weekly group coaching sessions. I share all kinds of recommendations and resources, and everybody else does as well. We have the winners platform where we're talking about the things we're accomplishing in our lives, helping to hold each other accountable with our new goals and things like that. So it's a really great space if you are a highly motivated type of spiritual practitioner and you are trying to grow in that realm. And I'm going to be taking one-on-one questions from the bunker witches now. So you definitely still have time to join us. Just click the link in the description and meet us there. You are so, so welcome, my dear. You're so welcome. If this message resonated with you, YouTube folks, definitely make sure to like and comment down below. Let people know if the messages were significant for you. If tea and tarot is something that you enjoyed, and you will definitely get more tea and tarot from me. I will be back for the May full moon. So definitely make sure that you're subscribing, you turn on your bell notifications and all of that good stuff so you get notified. I do these kind of randomly, sometime around the full moon, usually in the evening, but who knows what day it will be. So having your notifications on is important if you want to make sure that you don't miss the next one. All right, witches, I will see some of you in the next tea and tarot, and I will see the rest of you in the bunker right now for one-on-one readings. Catch you in the next one. Blessed be.